New England Patriots will be the most improved team in the NFL for this upcoming season, and we're going to discuss why in this video. We're going to talk about what they did in the NFL draft, the same with the free agency period, and why Mike Vrabel will also be an amazing coach with this team moving forward. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. But before we get into what they did this offseason, we have to talk about how we got to this point. And we have to talk about what happened last season. They went 4-13 in their first year with Coach Maye, with him being the head coach with this organization. And to say the least, Coach Maye was a terrible head coach with New England. I don't blame all that on Coach Maye. They dealt with a lot of injuries and the talent was not the best on the field. It was a definition of too much, too soon. Coach Maye one day may be a very good head coach in the NFL, but you could tell early on, especially by week 8, that he was not ready to be a head coach just yet. This man went from being a linebackers coach to being a head coach with the New England Patriots, and it seemed like this organization panicked. They parted ways with Bill Belichick, and they rushed this man to that spot. For many years, I was under the belief, with many others, that Josh McDaniels was eventually going to be the head coach with the Patriots. Well, that went to the wayside when he became the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and it took a lot of people in this organization by surprise. We had to bring in a brand new head coach because Bill Belichick's not going to be able to go out there and coach forever. And you look at all the decisions that Bill Belichick has made since Tom Brady walked away and he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He lost a lot of speed on that curveball. He missed on draft pick after draft pick on the offensive side. He even had Matt Patricia calling offensive plays when Josh McDaniels left to become the head coach with the Raiders. But you put in Coach Maye. This team dealt with a lot of problems. The talent was not the best, but the in-game adjustments were terrible by Coach Maye. Some games, he just didn't make adjustments. They looked unprepared. They couldn't stop the run, and they were abysmal on the offensive end. And they placed Drake Maye into a pretty tough situation for a rookie quarterback. So it's time to move on from Coach Maye after 1 year. I do hope that one day he can find his way back to the NFL and he can work on his flaws and he can come back and be a successful coach, but time would tell. But you bring in Mike Vrabel, who had success in the NFL. Mike Vrabel was a very successful head coach with the Tennessee Titans. If you're on the assumption that the Patriots did Coach Maye dirty, listen to this for a second. Coach Vrabel, in 6 years with the Tennessee Titans, put up a positive record, 54-45, 2-3 in the postseason. He had Ryan Tannehill being his quarterback. For some of those seasons, Ryan Tannehill looked like a franchise quarterback playing alongside A.J. Brown and the same with Derrick Henry. And Mike Vrabel helped orchestrate that team. They were getting to the AFC playoffs pretty much every single year with the Tennessee Titans. They had a couple of years and they were dealing with injuries, but he found a way to get the Tennessee Titans back to being a top-tier team in the AFC. But they parted ways with this man because he was not on the same page with their general manager. The general manager at the time made one of the craziest decisions in Tennessee Titans history. He traded their best offensive player outside of Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's when everything went downhill for Tennessee. There was a lot of reports that Mike Vrabel was not the biggest fan of that decision, and he was the head coach. So ownership came out. She parted ways with Mike Vrabel. She also parted ways with that general manager just a year later. They also hired a general manager for 2 years and Ran Carthon, and they fired him after just 2 years, and he did a pretty decent job with that organization. So if you look at Mike Vrabel and you say, hey, he wasn't a very successful head coach of the Tennessee Titans, respectfully, the people that are saying that, they don't know what they're really talking about here. This is the same man that won Coach of the Year in 2021, and it's a very good story for him. He got to play for the Patriots many decades ago when he was a very good football player. He comes from that Bill Belichick coaching tree. I think that he can come over with the Patriots and he will have a lot of success. You see, last season you had Coach Maye and experience as a head coach. You have the experience here with Mike Vrabel, and he's bringing back Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels may be the best offensive coordinator in Patriots history, especially when he was coaching up Tom Brady. Now, we all know what Josh McDaniels is without the Patriots. He's not a good coach. When he went to the Denver Broncos as a head coach, he was a failure. The same with the Rams. Didn't pan out very well. Went over to the Las Vegas Raiders as a head coach. Wasn't successful. But whenever he's been with the Patriots, he has had major success with Tom Brady, and the same with Mac Jones. Mac Jones in his rookie season, they go to the NFL playoffs. They got blasted by the Buffalo Bills, but he got the most out of Mac Jones, and Mac Jones was a bust for this organization. They never had the right pieces around him, and terrible coaching with Matt Patricia in year number 2. But we know that Josh McDaniels can work with young quarterbacks. We've seen him do it before. Now let's talk about the players here. You have Drake Maye at the quarterback position. Now last season, he did not start his entire rookie year. They had Jacoby Brissett go out there and start a couple of games. Jacoby Brissett, he was fine at times. We know what Jacoby Brissett is. He's a quality backup in football. He's not going to go out there. He's not going to be a franchise quarterback, and that's fine. They placed Drake Maye out there against the Houston Texans, a tough matchup, one of the best defenses in football last year. And Drake Maye looked solid. He had some big-time moments last season. Drake Maye had 15 passing touchdowns to 10 interceptions. I know on paper that sounds terrible. 2,276 passing yards. And you look at the rushing yards. He was able to get outside the pocket and make some big-time plays. 2 rushing touchdowns, 421 rushing yards. But I'm going to wipe that away. You can have that out there on his resume, and it's going to stay on his resume. What I've done in the past for young quarterbacks like Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence, if you aren't new to the channel, you guys heard me say this before in the past, I wipe it away from the quarterbacks. It's not their fault that they get placed into a terrible situation with a terrible coach. I'm going to do the same thing here with Drake Maye. He gets a clean slate in my opinion. He had a lot of good moments last year, but we're talking about a young player here that had a terrible offensive line. He didn't have a number 1 or even a number 2 wide receiver out there on the field. No offense to Kayshawn, and we'll talk about that when we get in depth with the wide receivers here. And an inconsistent run game with a running back that had a lot of fumbles last season and Ramondre Stevenson. They asked a lot out of Drake Maye, and he performed in those moments. He did the best that he could. And it's hard for a young quarterback to navigate his way through the NFL when his head coach doesn't have the experience. His offensive line is terrible. Drake Maye was their offense as soon as he came in. Did he struggle with accuracy and anticipation at times? Sure he did. But at the same time, he was a rookie quarterback. You want him to grow in the right situation, and you want to put the right pieces around him. And that's what they did this offseason. Drake Maye, I believe that he will be a franchise quarterback, and he will be fine. And respect to Robert Kraft for going out there and basically saying, even though I love you, Coach Mayo, you have to go. You can't screw this kid's career up like how you did with Mac Jones by having terrible coaching around him. You have to put the best coaching out there possible. Now, this is going to be very interesting with Josh McDaniels. He's never worked with a quarterback that has athleticism like this as a starting quarterback. Tom Brady, in my opinion, the best quarterback of all time, wasn't known for his athleticism. He was known for his accuracy, his poise, especially in tight situations. That man's footwork inside the pocket was just amazing. And the same with Mac Jones. His rookie season, he wasn't a great athlete. He's not a great athlete anyway. He was known for going out there, coming out from Alabama for his accuracy and his touch. Drake Maye isn't known for his accuracy coming out of North Carolina. He has some of those plays at North Carolina. He is known for his plays on the run and his athleticism inside and outside the pocket. You can have a quarterback that can beat you with his arm and can beat you with his legs as well. He could be a dual threat quarterback, but we know how the Patriots get down historically. They want you to figure out things inside the pocket. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Josh McDaniels can do with him. And it's going to be a lot of routes underneath. Now look at this wide receiving core. You bring in Stephon Diggs. He's easily your best wide receiver right now on paper. 47 catches last season, 500 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, average 10 yards a catch. Is he washed up? I wouldn't say so. With the Houston Texans, he had a couple weird games. Then Nico Collins went down. He became the number 1 wide receiver. But they had some terrible play calls with Bobby Slowick, and the offensive line was not the best last year. CJ was getting beat up a lot. He's been one of the most sacked quarterbacks and one of the most pressured quarterbacks within the first 2 years of his career. Stephon Diggs had opportunities where he was open deep down the field. The offensive line just couldn't hold up for him. He can still be that smooth wide receiver going downfield, the intermediate routes, getting the 50-50 situations. Stephon Diggs may not be the same wide receiver that he was with the Minnesota Vikings and the same with the Buffalo Bills, but he's a veteran. And this is what you want to do with your young quarterbacks. You want to put a lot of veterans around them and a wide receiver that can take the top off the defense and that can relieve some of that pressure off of Drake Maye. Look at what the Bills did, for example. They brought in Stephon Diggs a couple of years ago. It helped propel the career with Josh Allen. Kyler Murray, they got him DeAndre Hopkins many years ago. That worked out for the Cardinals. They made an NFL playoff appearance. This is what you want to do on the perimeter. Get a top-tier wide receiver and push them out there. And to the credit with the Patriots, they offered Chris Godwin a lot of money. He decided to take a pay cut and go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It takes two to tango. I know a lot of fans in the fan base will say, hey, why didn't you go out there for this player? They did. The player has to be willing to come over to the organization. So the Patriots, they were not playing around this offseason. They knew that wide receiver were an issue, and they get Stephon Diggs. Even though he's coming off of the ACL injury, he should give you a lot of good plays down the field, 12 to 15 yards out, and even underneath. He may not have the same speed that he once had, but he's going to be a game changer on the outside. And we're talking about an organization here that has struggled with wide receiving help over the last 5 to 6 years, to say the least. By selecting N'Keal Harry in the first round, by going out there and getting Jalen Polk instead of selecting Ladd McConkey last year. And speaking of Jalen Polk, I am concerned about him. This is a man that played alongside Rome Odunze at Washington. This was a bad wide receiving core last year, and it was hard for him to find his way on the field. Now, maybe he can turn things around. He's still a young player entering year 2. He's 23 years old, but he only had 12 catches, 87 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns last season. And you have Javon Baker, 1 catch, 12 receiving yards last year. And I always love to bring this up. Even though your general manager did select these players, Mike Vrabel did not. He was not in the room when they selected these football players. So it's a chance they could turn their career around, but at the same time, he may sour on these players sooner than Coach Maye did. So it'll be very interesting to see if Jalen Polk can turn things around. I hope that he can. But I look at the Patriots' track record in terms of selecting wide receivers in the NFL draft, they leave a lot to be desired, to say the least. You have Demario Douglas. Demario Douglas was able to go out there and have a solid year. 66 catches, 621 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, average 9.4 yards a carry. He will be a nice number 2 to number 3 wide receiver for this upcoming year. You have Kayshawn, 589 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. He averaged 14 yards a catch on 43 catches. It may be wide receiver by committee behind Stephon Diggs, but they're able to go out there and they're able to win one-on-one matchups every now and then. And that's the one thing with Drake Maye that stood out to me. The deep ball is there. Against the Houston Texans, he had an amazing play in that matchup, and the same against the Tennessee Titans. The deep ball is sweet. If he can see a one-on-one opportunity and you can get past your cornerback on press coverage, which was very rare last year, but it was able to happen, he'll put the football to only where the wide receiver can get it on the outside shoulder, and it'll be beautiful. And that was consistent with Drake Maye. You give him enough time inside that pocket, he can shred up defenses with that deep ball. So having those wide receivers there should definitely help them out. You did select Kyle Williams as well with the 69th pick coming over from Washington State. He's a speed wide receiver. He's electric. 6 foot, 186 pounds, had 131 catches, 2,041 receiving yards, 20 receiving touchdowns at his time at Washington State. So can he come over? Can he be that electric playmaker for you? And the one thing with Josh McDaniels, he has done a great job in the past with Julian Edelman. The same with Danny Amendola, Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez. He will find a way to go out there and just get those tight ends and wide receivers open by just scheming those guys open over and over again against certain looks. And this thing with Drake Maye, he better be able to get rid of the football out at a quick rate. If he can get the football out at a quick rate, this is going to definitely help him out in his development long term. And we've seen Tom Brady do this before, and the same with Mac Jones. It just calms down with Drake Maye and that release with the football. As far as the offensive line here, you select Will Campbell with the 4th overall pick. I love it. You don't overthink the deal here. I know a lot of Patriots fans, they wanted Travis Hunter in the first round, but the Jaguars had traded up. They got Travis Hunter instead. You're getting the best tackle coming out of college, out of LSU. Look at Will Campbell on 2,553 snaps. He only allowed 5 sacks. He's an amazing pass protector. Outside the wide receiving position, this offensive line position was the worst group on the field. They were terrible. They did not give Jacoby Brissett enough time inside the pocket, and the same with Drake Maye. So getting Will Campbell is huge. You cannot have Vidarian Lowe out there being a starting tackle week in and week out. And that's no shade towards Vidarian Lowe, but it's the reason why he was a late round pick a couple of years ago in the NFL draft. So now you bring in Will Campbell, who's going to be a top rookie at the left tackle position. You have Morgan Moses at the right tackle position. He's a solid veteran to have there coming over from the New York Jets. I think that he's going to be a very good football player. He doesn't have to be a superstar tackle, but it's better than what you had last season. You have Cole Strange At the guard position, we've seen him be a very good interior lineman over his course with New England. He just has to stay healthy. You did sign Garrett Bradbury at the center position. No shade here, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. Garrett Bradbury is not a good starting center at this level. We've seen him struggle immensely in the past with the Minnesota Vikings, but I will say this, once again, it's better than what you had before. And be on the lookout for the rookie, Jarrett Wilson, with the 95th pick from Georgia, was a very good center. My opinion, he was the best center coming out of college this year in the NFL draft. And he's an amazing pass blocker, and he was very good against the run. So I look at Jarrett Wilson, he may be the guy long term to slide in that center position to play alongside Cole Strange. But I like what they're doing right now. They're building this offensive line, and it's something that they did many years ago with the Tennessee Titans with Mike Vrabel. He'll sit in on those offensive line meetings, something that Coach Maye was not accustomed to. Mike Vrabel in the past, and this has been confirmed through Tennessee Titans reporters, he'll sit in on the offensive line meetings and he'd say, hey, we need to be better against this situation. We need to be better against this twist. We need to be better against this stunt. And he knows different defensive looks because he's a former player in this league. And he knows how to go out there and make those adjustments, how to gain leverage on the offensive side. He's going to let Josh McDaniels go out there and work. But at the same time, he's going to have a heavy influence on this entire team as a head coach, as he should. But this is all about stabilizing your organization and getting away from bad decisions in the past with bad offensive line pickups, bad running back pickups, and the same in the wide receiving position. This is still a team that's rebuilding. It's a transition year. But if you can win 5 to 9 games for this upcoming year, that's a huge step forward than what you were at last year with Coach Mayo. And before I get into the defense here, the running back room, Travion Henderson, he will be the bell cow running back with the Patriots sooner than later. You selected him with the 38th pick for a reason. 1,016 rushing yards, 11 rushing touchdowns his last year at Ohio State. Can catch the football out the backfield, can run in between the tackles. I look at him the same way that I look at Bucky Irving with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It took some time for Bucky Irving to go out there and take that spot, but he was able to do it. You can give Travion Henderson the football 20, 25 times a game and don't worry about the juice leaving his body. This is the problem here with Travion Henderson. Do you want to give him that big of a workload early on in his rookie year? You still have Ramondre Stevenson. Now, Ramondre averaged 4 yards a carry, 801 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. Not a bad running back at all. And he got a major contract extension a year ago for a reason. Ramondre Stevenson in the past has been a solid running back for the Patriots. I don't know what the hell happened this last season with him, but he fumbled the football at a high rate. The offensive line, once again, was not the best. He had to fend a lot of defenders off coming out of the backfield, but he needs to be better in terms of ball security. And I look at the Patriots now, the same with Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels. I know it's a cliche. They have the Patriot way. They're going to get pissed off by turnovers, miss assignments up front, and drops. You have to execute at the highest level. When you look at Bill Belichick in the past, he'll have running backs walk around the facility. You carry this football. You drop this football, that player gets money into their account. The player that helps you fumble that ball. So go out there and take care of it, even if it is in practice. It's one of those things where you look at Bill Belichick and you say the man's crazy, but it helped the running backs out during the week, especially on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. He needs to be better in terms of ball security. But Ramondre Stevenson, if he's not careful, Travion Henderson will take that spot. And once again, Mike Vrabel did not draft him. He was not the reason why he got this contract extension. That was all on Bill Belichick. And I'm still rooting for Ramondre Stevenson. 7 rushing touchdowns, that's nothing to scoff at. You can give him the football in important situations. Antonio Gibson, I do feel for him. Regardless of if Ramondre Stevenson can bounce back or not, I don't see Antonio Gibson having a huge role with the Patriots for this upcoming year. Hey, I could be wrong. We've seen them in the past have running back by committee, but I do believe that Travion Henderson will be the star running back in that backfield sooner than later. But offensively, right now, even on paper, you're better than what you were last year. And Hunter Henry at the tight end spot, solid tight end. He just has to stay healthy. But I still like Hunter Henry. 674 receiving yards last year, 2 receiving touchdowns, average of first down a catch. That's solid. And you have Austin Hooper, who can come off the bench, be a very good rotational tight end, can block very well in certain situations. 476 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. Eventually, it's going to be time to go out there and draft a young tight end to take over this spot. But where you're at right now is solid. It's fine. Now, defensively, this is where they made majority of their upgrades on. Their defense should take a complete 180 for this upcoming year. The biggest signing defensively was Milton Williams, a very good defensive tackle coming over from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, he is so interesting. We've seen him play defensive end and play defensive tackle. Had 5 sacks last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're bringing him in to be this elite run stopper in this division and to beat up double teams up front with Christian Barmore. You look at this division, the Miami Dolphins, they're not a physical team. And Tua's not known for his mobility. He's known for stepping up inside the pocket. You have 2 defensive linemen now that can go out there and put a lot of pressure on the interior with Christian Barmore and the same with Milton Williams. You could blow up that system with the Miami Dolphins. Josh Allen, what is he known for doing? His athleticism, stepping up inside the pocket. You can put the pressure on him. And let's not forget the New England Patriots were in a close game with the Buffalo Bills last season. I know every year is different, but at least give the Patriots some credit for being in a close game with the MVP last year. Then you have the New York Jets. The New York Jets, on paper, they have a solid offensive line, but they have a quarterback in Justin Fields who is known for rushing himself into pressure. So having Christian Barmore, if he can stay fully healthy with Milton Williams, can be one of the better defensive line groups in all of football. And this is the thing with Christian Barmore. Blood clots are the thing that has held him back from this previous year. That's it. But right now, as I record this video, he's fully healthy. Had 8.5 sacks the last time he was fully healthy. He's a very good player, and he's known for stopping the run as well. That's part of the reason why their rushing defense took a major step back, because he was rarely in the field last year with the Patriots. But he's a very good football player. But having him and Milton Williams, that's amazing. They did overpay for Harold Landry, in my opinion. But hey, you're getting a legit pass rusher that knows the system with Mike Vrabel, played with the Tennessee Titans for many years underneath Mike Vrabel, and he comes in, he's your best pass rusher right now. And Harold Landry can also steal the edge. 9 sacks last season. He's not going to come in and be TJ Watt, be Max Crosby, be Myles Garrett, but he does have to be on the same level as those guys to be effective. He could come in, get to the passer on a consistent rate, stop the run, set the edge. That's solid. Once again, you're upgrading weaknesses with this team from last year, and that's all that you can ask for with a veteran presence. And he can come in and just give you something different coming off the edge. That's what you're looking for. And you have Keon White. 5 sacks last season, 2 forced fumbles. 26 years old. He's still young. He can give you a lot of production playing alongside Harold Landry, and can be a very good rotational player in general. I like their defensive front. You bring in Robert Spillane from the Las Vegas Raiders. 91 solo tackles. That was the 6th most in the NFL last season. 2 sacks, 2 interceptions. A solid interior linebacker that is nasty. Even with the Steelers, he was known for going out there and stopping the run. He could fly all over the field. He's going to be a definition of a thumper inside the middle linebacking room, and should be a very good player day one. And you have Christian Ellis. Christian Ellis, 42 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. Not a superstar player, but once again, solid. Can come off the bench, can start for you. Like him a lot as a player. You have Clavon Chasen. Clavon Chasen was able to go out there for what it's worth. 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. A very good depth piece playing behind Anthony Jennings, who had 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 43 solo tackles. So the front 7, they're setting the edge now. They want to go out there and stop the run and be aggressive up front. In terms of pass coverage with those linebackers, they may have certain problems to where they go against certain tight ends and certain wide receivers across the middle. They may beat them up, but that's okay. It comes down to defensive adjustments with your defensive coordinator, and it comes down to the same with Mike Vrabel up front. And once again, this is not a Patriots team that wants to go out there and win a Super Bowl in year number 2 per se with Drake Maye, even though that would be phenomenal. That would be crazy. But you just want to go out there, stabilize your organization, bring in veterans, and help bring in and establish a winning culture, and help these younger players get better in their career. That's all you're asking for right now with New England. Now, their secondary has potential to be a top 5 unit in the AFC. Christian Gonzalez is already top corner. I've said this before in the past about Christian Gonzalez. He's an unsung hero, in my opinion. he rarely gets the respect that he deserves because he's been playing on bad Patriots teams. And I know his rookie season was cut short because he had the torn labrum in his shoulder, but he was on pace to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's how special he is on the outside. He's a definition of a glue corner. He could take away some of the best wide receivers in the game in one-on-one situations. You play that cover one with just one safety over the top, you don't worry about him. Even if it does look like he's getting burned, his arms are so long that he can catch up with that wide receiver. It can go for a pass deflection or it can go for an interception. And by the way, he may never have a high interception count in his career because quarterbacks, they just don't throw his way. He is special on the outside. And you bring in Carlton Davis, who is a very good cornerback coming over from the Detroit Lions. That's a very good deal. Carlton Davis, 2 interceptions, 11 pass deflections, 42 solo tackles. And this is the thing with Carlton Davis. He just has to stay healthy. We've seen him be a number 1 cornerback in the past with Detroit and the same with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now he becomes a number 2 in a system with very good safeties. Look at Jabril Peppers. Last year was a bit weird. There was some problems off the field, was dealing with injuries. But since he signed with the Patriots, he's been their best safety, playing alongside Kyle Duggar in certain situations. And don't sleep on Kyle Duggar. He's a very good safety as well in terms of pass coverage and the same against stopping the run. The Patriots, they have all the key pieces now to go out there and to be an annoying team moving forward. I don't have them being a Super Bowl contender, but I do have them winning between 5 to 9 games for this upcoming year. And they will see massive improvements in year number 2 with Drake Maye. And before I let you guys go, I do want to speak on Drake Maye one more time. If he doesn't go out there and he doesn't have the great sophomore season that many Patriot fans are looking for, be patient with him. Give him time. Now, if he has 4 interceptions in the game and he looks terrible and the next week he follows it up with 3 interceptions, you should be concerned. But don't put all the expectations all on his shoulders. It's a group effort here. I know that a lot of Patriot fans, they look at Jayden Daniels, they see what he was able to do with the Washington Commanders. You look at CJ, you see what he's been able to do with the Houston Texans. Those are just very good quarterbacks. They're amazing. They're great. But look at Peyton Manning. It took time. With Tom Brady, it took some time there for him to get great. It took time for him to go out there and to win those 6 Super Bowls. Be patient. And I know Patriot fans, you're used to the brand new standard with Bill Belichick, with Tom Brady. 6 Super Bowls. You ran the NFL over the last 20 years, but better days are ahead. There is no reason to why this team should only win 4 games for this upcoming year, with you having a Coach of the Year in 2021 with Mike Vrabel. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Patriots, and do you have them being the most improved team for this upcoming year? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless.